I've been playing pickleball for 4.5 years, testing paddles, reviewing gear, and being fully immersed in this sport. But here's the truth. While I have gotten better over the years, my rating hasn't moved nearly as much as I hoped. Between injuries, the time spent creating content, and trying to balance life, I haven't truly pushed myself to see what I'm capable of. So, starting today, the goal is to reach a 5.0 DUPR by the end of the year. But there's also a bet. At the start of 2025, I told my friends while on a vacation that I'd have the highest DUPR in the group by end of the year. Right now, I'm at 4.73, and the highest rating in the group is 5.33. Now, I'll admit, I wasn't all that motivated to go for it until my brother Isaac was so confident that I couldn't do it that he said he would shave his head bald if I did.
I'll shave my head bald for a year straight if you hit the highest group in the DUPR by the end of it.
So to get there, I'll be competing in the last 5 PPA Tour events of the year, plus some local tournaments, and I'll be documenting the entire journey every 2 weeks until the year ends. This is my journey to push my limits, become more physically fit, and finally lay the 3-5 at best jokes to rest. This is Chasing 5.0. So for those of you who don't really remember, I kind of tried to do this series about a year ago, but I significantly underestimated how difficult it was going to be to balance paddle reviews, content, life, trying not to be injured, and it just didn't really work out. And that never really sat that right with me. When I set out to do something or I announce something, I want to follow through on it. And so I feel like there was a little part of me for a while that it just kind of ate away, and it kind of bummed me out that I was never able to make the series what I wanted to do. And now with a more clear goal for the end of the year, I feel like I kind of have this deadline of like, here's what you have until. Like there is a deadline in sight, and it just makes it a little easier to kind of compartmentalize this whole series in my brain. So I'm pretty excited overall to bring this back. I feel like in the time I've been playing pickleball, I've just never really had the chance to push myself as hard as I want. And a lot of that is because I've always prioritized the content about paddle reviews over me getting better at the game. Yes, I've improved at pickleball in the 4.5 years that I've been playing just by playing the game, and naturally you start to get better at things. It's always been content first, and then me getting better at the game has always been secondary. And I think going for the remainder of the year and having this goal in sight is something that will be a lot of fun for me. Like I like to push myself, I like to be challenged, and this gives me a very clear picture of where this ends and what the goal is. Now, for those of you watching, I would love to hear what you want this series to be, what would make it more entertaining for you. I'm going to cover a lot of things off court, on court, what I'm working on, how I'm working on it. When I go to a tournament, you'll see recaps of the tournament and what happened in each match, which is kind of what you're going to see in this video. But if you guys have ideas, I would love to hear them. Now, before we get into this, I do just kind of want to unpack 3 fears, you could call them if you want, that I have with this series. And the first one being is injuries. As many of you know, I've dealt with a back injury for about 2 years, and thankfully, I'm finally at a point where my back is barely bothering me anymore. I feel like I've pretty much got it under control, but my training is probably about to go up a lot more than it has ever been, and I just hope I don't get injured. So that's something that's really in the back of my mind is, am I going to be able to keep up with the demand of being in the gym, actually drilling on the court, and anything else this might entail? Which obviously means I need to take my nutrition, my sleep, my recovery, stretching, all of that far more serious than I ever have, which I think is going to be interesting. So that's the first thing that I'm worried about. Now, the second thing that I'm a little bit worried about is just the balance of training, life, and work. I've always been someone who works very hard. I work a lot of hours every week, every month, and balancing this series on top of the paddle content that we're doing is going to be very interesting. I think I've got some systems in place that are going to help a lot with that and should make it a lot easier, especially with Isaac starting to take over more of the editing for paddle reviews, and then I'll be focusing on this series, at least for the remainder of the year. So I think it's possible, but I am worried that it's just going to be difficult to balance everything I need to do off court, on court, editing, videos, trying paddles, and then just having a life. And now the third thing that I want to talk about that is honestly kind of even just embarrassing to say out loud is just the fear of being judged. I have never done something on this channel where I've set a goal like this, where there is a deadline and I have to meet that deadline by a certain time. And in my mind, it would be so embarrassing if right now, as I'm starting this series, as a 4.73, if I finished worse than what I am now. I have a hard time imagining that that could actually happen with the amount of work that I want to put in. But honestly, that would just be embarrassing. It's kind of like letting everyone watch you fail and make mistakes, and that's not something I've ever been super comfortable with. And with this series, I'm just going to have to accept the fact that that could happen. It's probably going to be up and down. It's not just straight up. It could even be down. Who knows? But yeah, I think just the thought of thousands of people watching me possibly screw this up is pretty daunting. So anyways, with all of that out of the way, let's get into the first episode here. So what you're about to watch is a tournament from a couple weeks ago. What you're going to be watching is the mixed doubles portion and not the men's portion. This tournament was actually the biggest tournament that's ever been held in Minnesota, which was about 940 people, I believe. And then the division I was playing in was the 4.7 to 5.0 mixed bracket. And if I'm being honest, it was probably closer to a 4.7 average DUPR. Most of the people who were true 5.0s were playing in the open division, so I probably wouldn't count this as my first real 5.0 win. There were some 5.0 teams in there, but the average was probably about 4.7. Now, the crazy part about this tournament is it was a first-time partnership with my friend Mia, who is going to be my mixed partner for the remainder of the year. We'd never played a tournament together. We had played some practice leading up to this tournament, but we actually ended up going 10-0 at this tournament, which is by far the best result I have ever had a tournament, let alone doing it with a first-time partnership. Now, for men's of this tournament, I did end up going 15-2, so during this tournament, I ended up being 15-2, which is probably the best tournament that I've ever played, and my DUPR actually went from about a 4.52 or so all the way up to 4.73, which is also the largest DUPR jump I have ever had before. So I feel like coming out of this tournament, I had a lot of confidence, or I just felt good about my game. Now, in men's, we did only make it to the quarterfinals before we ended up going out to a great team, but it definitely made me aware of some things that I'm going to have to work on in the future. But anyways, for the rest of the episodes, I'll kind of be taking you guys behind the curtain, let you guys see what the training looks like on and off the court, how I'm analyzing my game, and what this is going to be. But I'm really excited. I hope you guys enjoy the series and enjoy this tournament. What you're seeing now is pool play of this tournament. These were games to 11, and then the bracket was games to 15, and if you made it to the gold match, those were 2 out of 3. The paddle that I'm using was the Selkirk Boomstick, and Mia is using the Franklin C45. But otherwise, you can enjoy this montage before we get into the bracket.
Switch. Oh, good hands, guys. You. That is nice.
Now on that little highlight reel with me just getting absolutely pelted by the ball. We did, however, win that game 11-7 to go undefeated in pool play. All right, after pool play, we won our first bracket match, 15-3, and now you are seeing the semifinals, and this did not start out as we would have liked. And you know how you just have some of those days where nothing goes right? That's pretty much what this game felt like. We were started down very quick. We were getting beat up. And for me specifically, it just felt like I couldn't do anything right. I couldn't put a ball away. I couldn't hit a reset. I just felt like I was playing terrible. And they ended up going up 8-3 very quickly. At the side switch, we decided to talk a little bit about what type of adjustment we needed to make, and we didn't really come up with much, but right after that, I just decided, you know what? We were banging the ball in pool play. Let's just do that again and see what happens, and we started firing off some points.
There you go. All right, let's get on the board here. Nice. No.
So this point right here definitely could have been a big turning point for the other team. We end up having a pretty long point after tying things back up. It's 10-11. And then after this overhead that you're about to see, they end up driving the ball and it clips my paddle wrong and actually hits me in the face. And you can see the slow-mo right here. And it just barely missed my eye. It kind of caught me off guard and rattled me a little bit. But thankfully, I was able to just kind of forget about it. And it didn't end up being that bad. Now, here's another area of the match that I think a lot of people could take a lesson away from. So we're currently up 14-13. They're serving. Mia ends up getting an overhead here and ends up dumping it in the net.
You got it. No sweat, no sweat.
And at 14-13, this is definitely not the time you want that to happen. And then right again here, she gets another easy ball, dumps it in the net. And then to compound that even more, we get into a little point right here and I go for a speed up and just dump it in the top of the net. Now, I think a lot of people in tournaments, after having 3 mistakes like this and being up 14-12, their mental would just go down the drain and they'd basically give up. And I'll be completely honest, I just accepted the fact that we probably lost this match, but I told myself, look, just go and play the smartest pickleball that you feel like you can play right now, and whatever happens, happens.
Great game, guys. Such a good game. Let's go. Come on.
That's crazy.
Oh,
What is
the adrenaline.
What were you trying to throw?
I got concussed, bro.
Overall, I was very proud of how that match was played. I think fighting back from a deficit at the half and then managing to stay positive despite many errors that I think would have sent people into a spiral was something that I was really proud of. I'm not someone who really tilts that hard in tournaments, and I definitely don't take it out on my partner when that happens. And I think that's a mistake a lot of people make. It's like I see it all the time in tournaments, especially in mixed. The mixed partner makes a mistake and then they start getting mad at each other. They're like, how do you miss that? They start trying to coach. And it's like, dude, they know they missed the easy ball. You telling them that they missed an easy ball is not going to make them hit it any better. Like in that moment, all your partner probably needs is just a little bit of encouragement. Like, hey, look, don't sweat it. Happens to all of us. Move on. Let's go to the next point. And that's something I think we did really well in this match. And honestly, I think it's the reason we bounced back and won. We just stayed loose and we didn't criticize each other when we made mistakes. But anyways, after all that, we were off to the final and we ended up playing a team that we played in pool play. This is Kai and Hannah. And through the first game, it's a best 2 out of 3 once you got to the gold medal match. We kind of just cruised through the first one. I think we were playing so loose after that semifinal match. It was kind of just we're happy to be here with how stressful that match was, that everything kind of just felt like it was going our way in this match. And I think when you can play loose and just have a fun time, that's when you're going to play your best pickleball. And I feel like this whole entire tournament, that was kind of a reminder for me. It's just stay loose and have a good time and you will play better.
Sorry. Got it. Nice. You. Nice. So lucky, so lucky.
I think everyone's standing there in disbelief.
Yeah, what just happened? Sorry. Got it.
So we ended up taking that first game 11-3 and going into the second game. Obviously, we're feeling pretty confident. We're just playing super loose. And this was another one that almost ended up being just like the semifinal match. We just couldn't really get a rhythm. I think they started playing a lot better. Kai was playing a lot more aggressive. Hannah was handling the pace a lot better. And they ended up starting up 5-0 on us. And at that point, it was like, dude, I don't know what we need to do here, but we are just getting destroyed. I think it was a lot of simple mistakes like that one that you just saw. And it was just kind of hard to find a groove.
My bad. That's me. Close.
All right, so coming up here in just a second, we finally start getting in a groove and figuring things out. And one of the things you may have noticed throughout this video is that we've actually been half stacking. So on the serve, we would have me on the left all the time, and then when we would be returning, we would just play straight up. And that was for a couple different reasons. One, Mia's a very good player. She's fully capable of playing the left, and she just likes playing the left. So I feel like one thing you can do as a partner is try and allow your partner to play to their strengths, as long as it doesn't make your weaknesses really bad. I don't love playing the right, but if Mia's going to crush it on the left, I don't really care. Go for it. And that's exactly what happened, is the points you're watching now, I didn't even have to do anything. Nice. And now this point right here is where you'll hear me say it. Mia hits a nice winner, and I go, you know what? Just take the left.
I don't gotta do nothing. Honestly, stay there. We're just gonna play straight until it doesn't work. Now, like I said, just stay. I don't have to do anything, stay.
Now, at this point, we had finally tied things back up. We got to 5-5, and we were feeling pretty good. Again, kind of just went back to playing loose, having a good time. You can hear me making jokes about not playing the left. I don't have to do anything. I think that keeps me loose. I think it probably helped keep Mia loose, just joking around. And it just resulted in us playing a lot better than we were.
All right, and then pro semifinals on court 5.
Heads up.
Sydney versus Jamie and Tommy. Sydney and Isaac.
You're insane.
All right, at this point, we are up 10-5 in the match. I rush the net, and Kai says, yeah, I've had enough of this. That just nails me with the ball.
Nice ball. All right, let's go straight here. See if we can get this.
All right, right there, you just heard me say, okay, let's go straight, because we've been stuck. And I'll just let the footage speak for itself.
Next on court 2, the other semifinal match.
I should have learned my lesson and just stayed on the right and got out of the way.
Was it going over?
It was.
Now, right after that, Kai and Hannah just proceed to go on a tear. They just started killing it. Some great putaways, some really good D. Actually, the point you're about to watch right here is probably one of the craziest gets I've seen from a person. And then we hit the ball out. So yeah, they had a huge run, and they ended up getting all the way back to 10-10. Now, I'll be honest, it's probably the most anticlimactic way this match could end, with just a drive and then a block into the net. But you know what? In the moment, I wasn't going to complain. Got the gold. That's all that mattered. But watching it back after all the different side outs and comebacks, just kind of funny to see how it ended. But anyways, that's the first episode of Chasing 5-0. It's going to be a fun journey, and who knows? Maybe people will just get to make fun of me more by the end of the year if my DUPR drops, or maybe I'll actually pull it off. We'll have to find out.